I'm just back from road test, and what can I say? Wow, what a difference. I've just done about 25 miles. We haven't had a cold snap, so I can't categorically say this is fixed. But there have been some changes in the way this car drives that would indicate to me that this problem had already started before it actually started displaying symptoms. Welcome to another video from Auto Night. Now, I'm going to try and keep this video reasonably short because the sole purpose of this is to help anybody else who may be having the 3 lines fault on the dash. And I know that this fault can really spoil the enjoyability of the car. It means you can't trust the car and it can be a devil to solve. I just want to go through the 3 things that I've been really busy with over the last week or so. And when I say busy, I really mean busy. I have not stopped. Whenever I've not been at work in my day job, I've been in this garage taking things apart, inspecting things, and generally grazing my knuckles and pulling muscles in my back and things, because these cars are very fiddly to work on because everything's so small. So we can break down what I've done into 3 things. I stripped out the loom from the transmission control module that goes off into the engine bay to serve the clutch actuator and the gear motor. I took that entire loom out, I had it on the kitchen table, and I ran full continuity checks on it, and there was no fault found. So I rebound that loom with some cloth tape that I bought, proper loom tape, and refitted it. And I refitted it correctly because it was incorrectly routed from a previous clutch repair. So whilst there was nothing wrong with that loom, that was not in vain because it was incorrectly routed. The next thing I did was to disconnect the earth strap, the engine to body earth strap, from the engine. It's held on by a Torx bolt and it's on the right hand side of the engine. I initially approached this from above and scratched up my hands and wrists and swore a lot, and then realised that it's actually very easy to get to from below. I removed that bolt and I cleaned up the surface of the earth strap terminal and also the engine surface that it bolts onto and the bolt. I have to say they were really quite bad. They were not clean bright metal, they were very oxidized, but I sanded that with a little bit of emery cloth and then refitted that. That is of significance, and we'll be back to that in a minute. The third thing was the loom that goes from the transmission control module under the seat off forwards to the SAM, the electronic stability program, often known as traction control. And that also has links to the speedo and also the airbag system. And I found that wire to have chafed through on sharp edges of the bodywork. So I rebound that loom and took some measures which you'll see in my shorts videos to prevent that from happening again. So 3 specific things I've done, and I've put the car back together and I've now taken it out for road test. It drives completely differently. Now I'm going to be quite honest about this because I actually think that a lot of this was attributed to the earth not being good on the engine. And I'll tell you why. When I would be driving with the heater fan on, as the vehicle changed gear or when accelerating, so essentially when there was any activity from the clutch actuator or the gear motor, the heater fan motor speed used to change. It would fluctuate. You'd feel it dip or rise. And also the headlights would dim a bit at times. All kind of in time with gear changes. And the more I look at that now, I think that was as a result of that earth being poor. Now the reason I didn't really think too much of it, bearing in mind it had been like that since I bought the car, was because my last Smart did exactly the same thing. A 2008 Pure, the heater fan and the lights would also rise and fall almost in time with gear changes. So I thought nothing of it. I thought, oh, maybe that's just the way they are. Now, with hindsight, that was a bit of a red flag because that's gone now, completely gone. It doesn't matter what I do now, the heater fan speed is consistent, the lights are shining bright and they don't dim. The alternator's putting out nearly 13.8 volts, so that's absolutely fine. And I actually believe that that may have been most of it. Granted that the loom in the car that was chafed needed addressing, because if that was shorting out, that's a problem. It's going to be a big problem, and there still may be something in that. And just for reference, that particular wire went off to the yaw sensor, the one that had the actual cut in it, but a lot of the other wires in that loom were quite scuffed up generally. So in conclusion, I think this engine to body earth may have played a massive part in this. The car also drives completely different. It's like all 84 horses are now free to run. In fact, I think I can feel every single one of them, and I'm driving it. It's so much quicker. It never drove like that from the moment I bought this car. So I hope this does help anyone who has this problem. I would just start with that earth point, especially if your car has the issue with the heater fan speed changing at various times, and also the intensity of the headlights and interior lights too. I'll be placing links to all the shorts videos in the video description below. This is probably all I really need to say on the matter, other than I hope it continues to be reliable. But the changes in the driving of this vehicle are so profound that I just couldn't wait to make this video and bring it to you. I hope you enjoyed the shorts videos detailing my progress with the car. I know the format isn't for everyone, but I was in such a rush and I figured the best way to bring you incremental updates was to do shorts videos because they're much faster to edit and time has been at a premium. So that's it for today's video. I hope it's useful. Good luck with your car if you have the same issue. A lot of people have reached out to me saying that they have. I look forward to seeing you again in another video very soon.